Boom. I think we're live here. Do a little quick audio check. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Sorry, I'm a little late. Sorry about that. Trying to get myself together. I'm a mess. A mess. So basically, what the plan is, welcome, man. Thank you for stopping by. Boom. Okay, audio's good. The plan is we're going to talk a little bit about Lina, the Texas girl that's still missing, 3-year-old. And then we're going to get to a little bit of the West Boys, the special that I was talking about yesterday. It's like a 20-minute special. So for people that never heard of the story, at least maybe get a little introductory to it. But
our top story tonight, where is Lina Sardar Khil?
Keeps doing that. And also her father spoke out. So we're going to listen to a little bit of that, but it was through a translator. There's a little bit of backstory too, because they came here, I think in 2019 from Afghanistan. So we're going to read a little bit about that. So somebody that's in the area, Just My Styles, last night posted on Discord. He was like, hey, I'm going to go check out the area, take some pictures of the playground, just give you an idea. And I was like, oh, that's dope. I actually have somebody else too that messaged me. Sin texted me. I don't know if she was able to do it, but let me tell you the situation that it's just My Styles told me, or us on Discord. He said, okay, guys, I just went to the apartment complex in San Antonio, Texas, where the 3-year-old girl went missing. I went to take pictures of the park. They have officers all over the place in there sitting in the parking lot. Looks like they feel she may still be in the complex somewhere. I talked to 2 officers there. The first treated me like a suspect and said the apartment complex didn't have a park. The second said she disappeared somewhere in the complex and they wanted to check my trunk on the way out of the complex. So they're really, taking this thing serious. Anybody that comes in or out. I wasn't able to get any pictures, unfortunately. Kind of felt like they would have held me for questioning if I was to start wandering around the apartments looking for a park. So on Facebook, somebody actually did post pictures. So I'm going to link the Facebook group. So for anybody that wants to stay like really, really up to date, I think this group is ran by True Crime Sisters. I'm going to put in the description on YouTube right now. I just added it. So I added the Facebook group there. I posted on Facebook as well. I was up pretty late last night, so I'm kind of like still getting myself together. Patty, thank you so much for the stars, sis. Thank you and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Patty. Let me show you guys the picture here. And Janelle posted this. Thank you so much for sharing these images. Oh, let me do this real quick. Hold on. Let me download all the images real quick, and then I can zoom in, zoom out. I don't want to have to do it on the web browser. Okay. Oh, and so that's what we saw on Google Maps. It almost looks like a tennis court or something. It's a really, really small little playground. Oh, okay. There is some sort of court there, whatever that is. Okay. Let me open this up for you guys. And by the way, we have a 3 p.m. stream today, a special stream. So for people that are watching right now, this is going to redirect you. At the end of this stream, if you're here, it's going to redirect you over there. You can just hit set reminder if you haven't done so already. That's going to be 2 missing persons, cold cases, special case. I actually went and met the family. For people that know about that story, that see me cover it, I revamped everything. I put everything in one video. I cut it up, chopped it up, edited it. I added additional information that's never been released about that story, clips that I've never put out, and it's pretty interesting. But this is, remember from the overview, what looked like to be some sort of, I don't know, I guess for soccer or something. This is the playground here. A little mini. So I'm also thinking maybe people or parents maybe think that they could, I don't know, watch their kids from the apartments, or that it's such an open space that maybe they wouldn't think somebody would do something like that, right? Also, I was having a conversation with Momo this morning, and she was telling me maybe it's like the culture, or maybe where they came from. Maybe they, I don't know. The kids usually are always outside playing and stuff like that. Maybe that kind of thing doesn't happen. That's just another view. And that's when we were looking on Google Maps. That's what the overview looked like. I got to fix that sound. There's so many things I have a huge list of things I got to do. Discord, Facebook, Streamlabs. But and thank you for the stars. Kenya. Kenya says, thank you, Mel, for Kay's beautiful struggle. Thank you. So this is the overview. We weren't really sure what this was. Now we can actually see what it is. There's cops all over the place, from what Styles said. And I even saw, when I was like browsing this morning, I was like, is there any updates? I want to see. The FBI posted too on their Facebook page. I was like, damn. So let's check out first what the father had to say. Close all this up.
Our top story tonight, where is Lina Sardar Khil? The 3-year-old last seen at a playground at an apartment complex more than 24 hours ago. Right now, San Antonio police and the FBI are using every resource to find her. All new tonight, a KENS 5 exclusive. Lina's father speaks out. Our interview was in Arabic, done through a translator. The father tells us his family moved here from Afghanistan 2 years ago. He says he and his wife were questioned for hours today. Eyewitness News reporter Henry Ramos joins us live from the apartment complex on the northwest side. And Henry, the father was distraught when you spoke with him tonight, and he's wanting his daughter home.
Wanting her home, Sharon, how and why are two questions the family is asking tonight. And through that translator, the father tells me he fears that his little girl may have been abducted. Though, to be clear, as of now, the FBI and police only listing Lina as missing. But an Amber Alert is in full effect right now. Well, tonight we spoke with the father just feet away from where his daughter vanished. The pain and emotion is too real for this father. He fell to the ground when asked what he misses most about his little girl. 3-year-old Lina Sardar Khil went missing near this apartment playground Monday night. No one has seen or heard from her since.
No.
The child's father spoke exclusively to KENS 5 through a translator. Ria Sardar Khil says he and his pregnant wife have not eaten or slept since Monday. Police say Lina went missing from this area in the Villas del Cabo apartment complex on Fredericksburg Road. She was outside playing in this area, then the mother couldn't find her. Much of Tuesday, from day to dark, FBI agents and San Antonio police searched apartments looking for the little girl. Here's what the translator said on behalf of Lina's father about today's massive search efforts.
The FBI police are coming here like any moment, and just they are asking us like different questions.
At first, the father thought his daughter could be with another Afghan family, but now that has changed. He believes someone may have taken her. And the family says they escaped violence from Afghanistan and immigrated to the U.S. to be safe. And now they're dealing with this. I don't know if you can see right behind me, but police, they're still here tonight. They're stopping people going in and out, questioning them, looking inside their vehicles. In fact, when we came out here to interview the father tonight, we were stopped twice. They looked inside our unit. But again, the biggest part here, if you know Lina's whereabouts or anything about this case, contact police, San Antonio police, that is, immediately. We're live on the north.
So she went missing, I believe it was Monday evening, right? And for the people that are new that may have missed yesterday's stream, I think it was Monday evening. I think they said between 4 and 5 p.m. and that the parents reported it around 7:15 p.m. And they're talking here about, it says the father of the missing 3-year-old girl says he and his wife hadn't eaten or slept since their daughter disappeared from the playground in Texas on Monday evening, according to a local report. Lina was with her mother at a playground near San Antonio apartment complex when she vanished. The Texas Department of Public Safety called Lina an abducted child. An Amber Alert was issued Monday evening. During our entire lives, we have not been as saddened as we were yesterday and today. Lina's father, Raiz, told Ken's TV through translator. Khil said his family came to the U.S. in 2019 after fleeing from threats in Afghanistan. 12 feet tall, 55 pounds. They're saying. The family told the station that the FBI and local law enforcement has questioned them as the desperate search continues. Khil said his wife was watching their daughter on the playground, but that the child wandered to a nearby path and disappeared. Huh? That's different from what we were first told. Is that another translation thing? Because the original story that we've been told, we've been hearing, is that the mother was there at the playground with Lina, and then she leaves. We don't know for how long, and she comes back, and Lina's gone. Over here on Fox, supposedly, it says Khil said that his wife was watching their daughter on the playground, but that the child wandered to a nearby path and disappeared. What? Yeah? I don't know, bro. Kara, thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate you, man, and coming back. I appreciate that too. The continued support. Thank you. San Antonio Police Chief McManus said on Tuesday that the police and FBI are searching by the ground and by the air for the child. McManus said that both parents are doing everything they can do to find their daughter. I was trying to skim a little bit to the Facebook group to see. Besides that, there was something actually that I saw here I thought was interesting. Okay, yeah. Janelle, this is the same person that posted the pictures. This is interesting. I don't know. We're hearing two different things now, right? Khil said Lina's mother was watching her on the playground of their Northwest San Antonio complex when the little girl made her way to a nearby path and suddenly disappeared. Her mother thought she may have returned to their apartment unit, but when she didn't find her there, either a search ensued. The hell? I don't know, bro. They all having problems, I guess, communicating. So we're gonna be keeping an eye on that, man. I don't know what's going on. Definitely, I'm hoping for the best. It's been since Monday now. And like I said earlier, there was somebody on Discord that was telling me that he went out there today and they're taking it very serious. They're almost acting as if the person, like she may be still in one of the apartments. You know what I'm saying? And we saw the clip yesterday as well that this lady, that one of the neighbors over there was talking, and she said that the police came and knocked on the door and she let him in. Maybe, I think it was the FBI too, I'm not sure. They came in and they checked everything, and then they asked her, hey, would you be willing to volunteer your DNA? And so she gave her DNA. Super weird. I'm kind of curious too. I was like, I wonder what the neighbors think, or the people that live in that apartment complex, or what about the next door neighbors? You know what I'm saying? Or has anybody seen anything? I don't know if they've been told maybe not to talk, maybe not to say anything. It's possible. But I'm just kind of curious what the neighbors think. Oh, let's check this out real quick. Look like a video, but
earaches and fevers don't.
no. All right. Well, I guess for now we'll move on from that. We'll wait and see what happens Little girl Melina's still missing. Let me I guess we'll watch the Orrin and Orson special. It's about 20 minutes long. Maybe I'll read some of the chat too before we start. I guess I'll set up right here. The special is about 20 minutes. It was posted, I think, late last night or something. Also, the biological family speaks. And I think I saw the father speaking as well. Sammy says, she is my cousin. Is she? Sorry to hear that. Uncle says, I'd volunteer my DNA if the cop was... Lord. Yeah, I wouldn't volunteer my DNA. I mean, just to volunteer? Nah, I probably wouldn't. Hell no. It's kind of weird, dude. I don't know. All right, so let's check out this special. Maybe a little refresher for people that haven't seen this story. I covered it when it first came out a couple of times, and then I haven't. There was a lot of people covering the story, a lot of people that were actually on the ground, going to the house of the family, investigating, people that were searching. And it's been, I believe this is a year now. So it's 1 year later. So let's just check this out.
I came in the house, I saw them there.
Somebody knows something.
They could be anywhere.
I came back out, I didn't see them there.
Y'all was supposed to take care of my nephew.
The tension in this community is just raising.
Things like this don't just happen out here.
It's been 20 days.
For more than 100 days.
10 months since the West brothers went missing.
Have we searched the house? Absolutely. The backyard? Absolutely.
They will be found. And that's all I want is to find our babies.
Where are the boys? Where are the boys? Where are the boys? Where are the boys?
Good evening and welcome to this special edition of 23 ABC News. I'm Keely Van Middendorp. Well, it's been 1 year since two young boys, 3-year-old Orson West and 4-year-old Orrin West, were reported missing. Tonight, we take you through our coverage of the case over the past 365 days as investigations continue with law enforcement. Meanwhile, the question we've all been asking this past year is, where are the boys? But
they have a really nice website set up too. Like, they have this interactive thing. I was really impressed the way they set it up. And it's like this, and you can literally scroll through all the dates and times, and you can see what was going on.
What about who were the boys? 23 ABC's Kristen Vartan spoke to family members who shared their memories of Orrin and Orson West.
I was changing his diaper, and when I was changing his diaper, he was just staring at me, and I asked him what was he staring at. He just started screaming out of nowhere and started laughing. It was funny. I was at home by myself with him.
Charles Pettis is the biological father to Classic, later named Orson West. But he's reflecting on a moment with Sincere, later named Orrin. And while Orrin West wasn't his biological son, he was part of the family.
Happy I had another baby, and it's just another part of me that I had to take care of. And I didn't spend a lot of time with him before all this stuff happened, and they came and took him away.
Pettis holds on to what little time he got with those two kids before they were put into foster care and eventually adopted.
I try to stay strong for my brother, but we just want answers and justice, that's it.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about with me.
Yeah.
I get emotional, but.
And then taken away again.
Some kind of answers. It's been a year. We deserve something.
Yes, yes.
That's. I mean, it's only right. It's only right.
As Orson's biological aunt Kiki Horde says, Tuesday marks the anniversary that adoptive parents Jaclyn and Trazelle.
This is the adoptive parents' home right here. Just looking at this kind of brings me back a little bit, flashbacks to all the drama that was going on. A lot of different things between like YouTubers and just like the family, and just a pretty crazy time.
West reported the brothers missing. Since then, Pettis and Horde's biological cousin Rosanna Wills says there have been countless searches, monthly candlelight prayers, and unanswered questions.
That's the thing. There's $125,000 on the line. Nobody's claimed it. Nobody spoke up. There's so many tips. Nothing. There's so much support around the world. Nothing. So it's like when you have all of this and we don't have nothing.
Now here we are at Casa Loma Apartments. This is where officials say the West family moved from to California City. While we were unable to get a hold of the adoptive parents of the boys, Trazelle and Jaclyn West, this is what they had to say to us in a previous interview about what they meant to them.
I am completely sorry because we were entrusted with her children, and they came to us and they became our children, and we named them, and they are our children, and so we want them back.
The biological family says that while there were events leading up to the boys being placed into the foster care system and eventually adopted, those events were misunderstandings and an accident. And now they have questions for the adoptive parents.
If you followed the case, like you would see pictures, like they was more happy at home than they was with them. And if they loved them, like still to this day, can we get one updated picture? Something that's going to show what they looked like when they had them? That's
I forgot a lot about this. It's been a long time since I followed this, but I believe the thing was going on was that a lot of the pictures were outdated. And so I think that's what the biological family is like referencing here. So I figure it'd be good to kind of watch this just for people that had never heard of it. Maybe you can kind of be introduced to it, you know, or check it out, that kind of stuff. And there's people that have really deep dived on this story, like locally and everything like that, you know?
Will says the family refuses to give up the search until they find answers, and that their love for the boys and each other keeps them going.
It's been a year, 365 days. Imagine going missing for a day.
You know, I still got them. They should know that I still love them, that I'm always gonna have their backs regardless to the fact those are my kids. Like, you know, that's something that you'll miss in life that you can never get back.
In Bakersfield, Kristen Vartan, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
And while Orson and Orrin came to be part of the West family, their birth mother, Ryan Dean, told 23 ABC last year she was working to get them back in her care. She became vocal following the boys' disappearance and claimed she believed foul play was involved.
Not like them, I could tell. I could tell when my kids like someone or when they don't like someone. I have 2 older kids, and I know, and they didn't like them. Something was going on.
23 ABC did reach out to Dean, who said she had nothing to say to the public until her boys were found. Well, the Wests reportedly moved from the Casa Loma apartments in Bakersfield to California City in September of 2020. A local investigation begins after the boys are reported missing on the 21st. Nearby neighbors begin search efforts just hours after that first call, and investigations by California City Police begin as well. The Wests speak to the media for the first time, their first and only interview of the year. Here's what they had to say.
I opened up the back gate. I'm throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. My wife's inside. She was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea that our youngest 2 would go outside and play with chalk on the back patio. I realized that I left the gate open, and I panicked, came inside the house, searched the house, me and my wife. Once that didn't pan out, I got in the van. I looked down the street, both directions. It was getting dark, getting cold.
We're going through it. It's difficult. I mean, everybody's making their own their own conclusions. They don't know anything. We're not sure like everything. We're not sure. We said what we knew.
So those were their adoptive parents, Trazelle and Jaclyn. The biological mother, I believe his name is Ryan Dean. Orson was at that time 3, Orrin was 4, I believe. I don't know if this information has changed. I'm looking at my really, really old notes, And I believe that the adoptive parents had 4 other kids, 2 bio, 2 adopted. If that's correct, it could have changed. It's been a really long time. I could have had the wrong information. I haven't checked and updated this information.
Despite the community's prayers, the boys are not found by Christmas. Over the weeks, a large reward is offered by local businesses and the family itself, leading to information for the boys' safe return. The California City Police Department also updates 23 ABC on any leads that they've been looking at.
Karina says, please go over the fact that Trazelle had received $5,000 Venmo payment from a realtor who sold him the Cal City house. They became good friends. The realtor says he told her he only had 4 kids, not 6. Ooh. So maybe that's why a lot of people were going back and looking at the apartment place they came from, I guess, right? Yeah, that's interesting. That's telling. The realtor says he told her he only had 4 kids, not 6. Damn. It reminds me a little bit of that Florida story that we covered. I think just recap on that real quick. Breonna Taylor. Not her. Breonna Taylor Williams. I thought it was. Okay. Taylor Williams, Breonna Williams. This mother, apparently she had killed her child, right? They hadn't seen this kid in over a year. And so this mother from the old apartment place or wherever she was living, she goes to move to a new house. And in the process of moving, she asked some people for help. The people that helped her, this is a completely different story. The people that helped her said they never saw a child. They never saw a child. They were, helping her move. They moved to the new place. Never saw a child, never heard a child. They thought it was super weird. And come to find out, this little girl's been dead for probably over a year or something, I don't know how nobody checked in all that time, but it just makes me think of that a little bit, I don't know.
In that month, law enforcement dug up the parents' backyard to make sure the boys weren't buried underneath. Search dogs found the boys' scent inside the home, but not outside. Officials also used cadaver dogs inside the residence. They found no scent of human remains. A search warrant collected things from the home, including electronics like cell phones, and the parents' van was also examined for any trace amounts of blood. Nothing was found. They also spoke to neighbors, and previous properties were searched.
That van was a big thing too. I remember.
In Bakersfield, along with the former Saddle Ranch Resort.
Everybody's just hoping that they find something. We're going to go through every area there is out here.
Scouring the desert, just looking for any clues.
Those nearby also began looking for the children hours after they were reported missing and have never stopped. But neighbors involved in that first search recall initial confusion amidst the chaos as they had no idea there were 2, much less 6 children living at the property on Aspen Avenue.
So, real quick too, Frankendahl says, no one ever talks about adoption swapping on the dark web. It's a huge network. I never heard of that. I didn't know about that, but apparently there's some article too. I'm not going to go deep into the article, but there's stories about it. Adoptive parents swap unwanted kids on the internet. The particular one I'm looking at is from 2013. And these people adopted a child, troubled teenager. When they decided to give her up, they found new parents to take her in less than 2 days by posting an ad on the internet. Wow.
But look how cute they are. They're adorable. Yeah. Why would anybody want to hurt them or,
A search that's felt fruitless here in the land of the sun, where no amount of daylight has been enough to uncover the truth behind the West boys' whereabouts.
It's the mystery that's so horrible about all of
it. About parents
just
too?
Not knowing. It's really, really hard not knowing.
Neighbors recall that December night, telling 23 ABC they think about Orson and Orrin every day.
Walk out of my house and there's the house and it's boarded up.
I just talk to God every day. I know He knows where they are. Why are you not letting us find out where they are?
Ida and Robin both live nearby, and both had no idea a family was residing at the California City home.
We actually have probably the best view of that house because we sit kitty corner.
Ida saying she recalls seeing a white van parked outside the house beginning sometime in September of last year, and a young man several times over the months, but no one else.
The van was usually parked there all the time.
Robin was the West's backyard neighbor and is also adamant she never saw any sign of children or animals outside.
The father, you would see him out in the backyard occasionally, but only him. I never saw any children of any kind ever. In all the years I've lived here, there's never been children back there, ever.
The two recall the night of the boys' disappearance, both taking to the streets with other neighbors to look for the children they never knew existed.
And he said they lived in this house over here. And I said, really?
Ida saying that night no police came to their doorstep or asked to search their property, which includes a large barn. She thinks it could have been a place with potential for protection in the eyes of two young children wandering alone on a dark December night.
Nobody ever talked to us.
1 year later,
now they would be 4 and 5.
And after countless searches, the property on Aspen Avenue sits vacant and eerily quiet. A small memorial, which began the week the boys disappeared, still serves as a somber reminder two children are dearly missed and still missing.
No, I don't know what I hope. I just hope the children are alive.
Yeah, I see you guys talking about the deep web. It can be a dangerous place. I've gone there a couple of times. I really don't even wander in there anymore because you could really just end up in the wrong place. I wouldn't want my IP, even though, it's best to go in there on a VPN. You could easily end up in a wrong place. You could inadvertently see things that you may not want to see. Or, your information or whatever, maybe possibly you can get hacked or whatever. I don't really find myself. Sometimes there was one time I went on there and there was a website that had a connection to like all these cameras. I don't know if they were public cameras. Some of them didn't seem public, but it was just connected to a bunch of cameras. I'd never seen nothing like that before. It was pretty weird. But there's even things that's not on the dark web. There was that one site we covered. I can't even say the name. There was one site that this girl on YouTube exposed that had pictures of all these kids, and there was weirdos on there like collecting them and sharing them, and it was public. So I covered that one time to put it on blast, and I was a little upset with like Google, which is kind of like whatever, the same thing almost, but Google would show it up on the top search. So once they got put on blast, they ended up like changing their website and moving somewhere else. I don't know where they went to. But the pictures, like, they weren't like nude, but it was like those weirdo stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it was just on the public like that. And all these people, you see them talking on the forums. God knows whose kids these are. You know what I'm saying? I talked about that. There was a girl, I forgot her name. She did a really good like expose on that.
And it wasn't just neighbors and law enforcement agencies investigating the case. A private investigator from Northern California says he was also drawn to the investigation. Bill Garcia joined efforts while offering his team services pro bono. While he stepped away, Garcia continues to keep in close contact with those near the case. He tells 23 ABC he believes the boys could still be alive and reunited with loved ones.
The fact that remains have not been found, nor evidence of them, being deceased have not been found. That's all very good, and many times the children will pop up.
Still, in the decades Garcia has been helping to solve children's cases, he tells us he's never seen one like this, where he's been accused of taking the children he's looking to find. And Garcia isn't the only person who's been accused of taking Orson and Orrin West. We caught up with Cherry Vasquez, a woman who first shared her story with us last year after she found crowds of angry people at her doorstep in Bakersfield demanding to know where the boys were. Vasquez says YouTubers accused her of being...
Bro, so this is what I was talking about, like how things got kind of crazy and a little bit out of hand. There was so much crap going on. And I didn't follow. When sometimes just things get so crazy, I sometimes get disinterested. Unless I was already invested and I started covering the story first, but this thing got so crazy. I remember at one point there was a video put out allegedly of people breaking into a van that they thought belonged to the family or something like that. I don't know what's going on with that. And then this lady, I guess some people thought, and I don't know, maybe she is, maybe she's not. She's saying she's not. She was related somehow to the family, and she wasn't. And these people showed up at her door. There was all this crazy stuff putting her on video. Let me see what they have to
The
say.
biological mother of Jaclyn West, claiming at one point to even have a birth certificate. Streamers went as far as saying she was a witch and reached out to her actual children, asking about Jaclyn and the boys.
So she has nothing to do with this. They hunted this lady down. They hunted her kids down. That's what I'm saying when things go like, you know what I'm saying?
Step in Bakersfield, demanding to know where the boys were. Vasquez says YouTubers accused her of being the biological mother of Jaclyn West, claiming at one point to even have a birth certificate. Streamers went as far as saying she was a witch and reached out to her actual children, asking about Jaclyn and the boys. She also says her grandchildren weren't allowed to visit during this time as they feared for the kids' safety. Vasquez tells 23 ABC people also reported a GoFundMe page she had started for a family member as fake, claiming she was going to use the money to cover up crimes related to the West boys.
One of the YouTubers had told all the rest of them to flag it because I was trying to get money to bury the boys.
And what was your reaction to hearing that?
My mouth dropped and I began to, it made me cry because
And I don't know how they got this information, but you got to be really careful too. There's a bunch of websites out there you can like pay and pull up people's information. That information doesn't necessarily, it could be wrong. It might not be correct. Sometimes people have the same name or similar names and it links up and it might not be correct. You really have to do your due diligence when you're using those types of websites, you know?
it's like, did you really? This girl needed this, and you're accusing me of murder.
Cherry has considered legal action and even found the mother of Jaclyn West. She said there was no resemblance and no remorse from her over the case of mistaken identity.
I am confident that we will understand the circumstances of their disappearance.
Still to come as the case progresses, the Bakersfield Police Department takes the lead in the investigation. We share why next. And welcome back. The Bakersfield Police Department announced on March 1st that they were taking over the lead in the West Boys investigation. This for several reasons. The agency had already served several search warrants in connection to the case at that point, including at the property of the adoptive grandparents. 23 ABC's Mythili Gooby has an update now from Bakersfield Police on where they stand tonight with the search.
We're doing everything we lawfully can to solve the case.
The Bakersfield Police Department says they have been involved in the investigation of the disappearance of Orson and Orrin West since the beginning.
Once it was established that historically the boys are from Bakersfield, their families from Bakersfield, their history was in Bakersfield.
On March 1st, the department announced that they formally took over the case. Through their investigation with other law enforcement partners, as of December 14th, BPD says they have done about 116 interviews with people connected to the case and have seized about 170 items, but that number was as of June 2021. Since the reported disappearance, BPD says they've also executed about 48 search warrants, got more than 200 tips, conducted 4 out-of-state searches, and have done 27 area searches as well. And even though Sergeant Robert Pear doesn't frequently share updates about the case, he says BPD is still working to find the boys.
The investigation hasn't stopped. Just because on a daily basis we don't tell you what we're doing.
Pear says the department understands that people are continuing to follow the case and want updates from law enforcement.
We know the public is crying out for answers. The public is crying out for the boys being returned home. I am confident that we will understand the circumstances of their disappearance.
But they say they can't reveal details that could jeopardize the case.
It closes investigative paths to us when we present all of the information that is known to us.
Despite the lack of public knowledge of the case, Pear says people shouldn't stop caring about the investigation or about the boys.
The more people that talk about it and know what's going on as far as the disappearance of the boys, the higher the likelihood that someone that either remembers something or sees something and contacts us. And that's extremely important.
In Bakersfield, I'm Maitili Gobi, 23.
No problem, Adele. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Appreciate all you guys. Appreciate the mods. Thank you, the monsters under our bed, for the super chat. Thanks for everything you do, Mel. A great model for the platform. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. And guys, 3 p.m., premiering an hour-long video, a really great, amazing video. 2 cold cases, mainly focused on one. Definitely check it out. At the end of this live stream, it's going to redirect you over there. So just hit set reminder. And we're almost done with this. I just wanted to touch on these 2 stories and then let you guys know about what's coming up.
Free ABC, connecting you.
We often hear the phrase, "it takes a village," when celebrating all the things a child has accomplished. But for the West boys, it has taken a lot of people to keep this search going. As the months pass, the amount of those helping seems to be diminishing. As 23 ABC's Vanya Patino finds out, those who have stayed are not letting go until they get answers.
This is
Merry
one
Christmas.
of ours. You know, they was born in Bakersfield. This is one of our kids. And just, if it was one of yours, what would you do?
They are not her children, but 10 months ago, in her family room, now turned into a workshop, Keisha Stevenson began printing the boys' faces on shirts and masks. She's now updating the message.
Someone knows something and they didn't just disappear. So keeping these shirts and stuff out there, it keeps the awareness out there.
Despite the face masks, sweaters, shirts, and boards plastered across California City and Bakersfield, the question remains, where are the boys? And right now, the only thing holding these families and community together is prayer.
A lot of hope, but a lot of prayer, is going to help our entire situation.
As a father of 6, Nick Hill cannot fathom the heartbreak the families involved have been going through.
That's it. It just has to be a hole in their heart that will never close until their child is found.
Hill and his team at the Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce have hosted talks and joined the prayer circles Keisha Stevenson has set up. But as fewer people show up to these vigils and the pictures and teddy bears laid outside their Cal City home fade, those making sure this case does not go cold are asking the community to come back.
We need all the support. With ideas, whatever, we just need the awareness to just continue. We got to keep being their voice. We don't want it to go cold, period.
In Cal City, Bonnie Patino, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Vic said I had to revisit the van, so only 4 got on the van and none came back.
Coming up next, when it comes to missing child cases, it's all hands on deck. Missing and exploited children has assisted law enforcement and families with nearly 400,000 missing children cases across the nation. And that's no different when it comes to Orrin and Orson West. 23 ABC's Brianna Willis spoke to the center about how they've assisted with this year-long investigation.
For our organization, no matter how long or how short the duration that a child is missing, we'll continue to apply our resources.
Whether it's a day, a month, or even 1 year, law enforcement agencies come together to help find missing children. But an organization that might not have the bright lights or sirens can also help, like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
If it has to do with a missing child case, we try and be involved in it.
Vice President of the Missing Children Division for the NCMEC, John Bischoff, says that since the center's start in 1984, they have been able to serve as a nonprofit organization and help provide national resources to missing child cases.
Not a federal agency. We're not a government organization, which allows us to get resources much more quickly at times.
You
And
said I misspoke earlier. Yes, it appears they were not present that day of the van footage.
work to apply them onto these, work to supply them to local law enforcement officials in the search for missing children.
For the West boys, Sergeant Robert Pear with BPD says while they are the lead investigators, they work the case in conjunction with the Cal City Police Department, the FBI, and consult with the Kern County District Attorney's Office. They also rely on the knowledge from the NCMEC.
In a joint investigation with other organizations, what that does is allow you to get expertise from those individuals. For example, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, this is their purpose. And the fortunate thing is that we don't experience missing children all the time.
That's why Pear says it's helpful to have the NCMEC's expertise in the process during this open investigation.
What this allows us to do is have fresh sets of eyes on the information that we're obtaining. You can have discussions regarding strategy. You can have fresh outlooks.
Meanwhile, Bischoff says all of the organizations and law enforcement's goal points to the same hope.
And at the end of the day, we just want to find them safe.
Brianna Willis, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
While the FBI has helped in the West Boys investigation, they also have another resource available to help find missing children, the FBI Child ID app, which is in partnership with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The app started nearly 10 years ago and is designed to store recent, up-to-date photos of children. So if they happen to go missing, parents can show pictures of their children to law enforcement immediately. And remember, Orrin and Orson are two of just many missing kids, not only here in California, but across the nation. So as a way to report any information about a missing or exploited child, be sure to call authorities or 1-800-THE-LOST. You can also scan this QR code for more information. Thanks.
So that was the special on ABC 23, the 1 year later special. I don't know if this is the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing we just watched. It would have been good, I think, if they showed the whole interview of the adoptive parents. I think they just showed part of it. Real quick, too, because I want to head out of here by a little bit before 2:30. And I'm going to redirect you guys just to give it some time because I got to do a couple of things because I want to be here for the premiere to talk with you guys and chat through it. But real quick, last night, too, there was another Amber Alert put out in Texas. And I'll just play this quick little video. For the people that don't know, 3 kids. Oh, they don't. I guess they don't really have a video. Let me just play it then. It's like 20 seconds long. Let me just read it, I mean. A North Carolina man wanted for, crimes against minors is on the run in Texas with 3 of his 5 children. Jonathan Wright is wanted out of Mooresville, North Carolina. His wife said that the crimes against children are not related to his own children. She and Wright's oldest 2 children were found walking into a store after their car broke down. Deputies stopped them when they went into the store, but Wright and the 3 other children were not there. An Amber Alert has been issued for the 3 children who remain missing. Their ages range from 8 to 11. The group was last seen in Medina County, Texas. Canine crews, helicopters, and drones have all been used to search the rural area. My understanding, his kids think their dad hung the moon. What? My understanding, his kids think their dad hung the moon. Well, he needs to step up and let them be in a safe place while he goes and fights his own battle. That's what the sheriff said. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. I know I had a picture last night. These are the 3 kids. They said that he's on foot. One of the posts that I read last night, I wonder if the Hang the Moon is in reference to that book. Wasn't there a book about whatever? I don't know. The Moon book or whatever? Let me see. Kids book. I don't know. I was thinking of that. I don't know what that means really. Maybe it means like they're looking as a hero or something. But these are the 3 kids. They said that he's on foot. He's known to be a camper, like live out in the wilderness and stuff like that. So let's see if there's any other information I could pull up on this guy real quick. This was it says here out of Hondo, Texas. The suspect, Jonathan Alexander Wright, 40, was last heard from 3:45 p.m. Monday near County Road 366 and FM 2676 in Hondo, Texas, on foot. Okay. So I don't know. A lot of crazy stuff going on. It's the holidays. Oh, there you go. Good Night Moon. I was thinking maybe Good Night Moon. I don't know if that's a reference to that or what. Hang the Moon is a figure of speech. Oh, okay, they put him in high regards. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that explanation. All right, so I'm going to redirect you guys. Just go hit set reminder, 3 p.m. Eastern, a special video, an hour long, an hour and 10 minutes. Definitely go and check that out. Hit like. I'd appreciate that. It helps out. Hit like on this stream and hit like on the next one. And thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. You guys be safe. We'll see if I'm back later. I gotta clean up. I got a bunch of things I need to do. But I have this stream and I have the one coming up, and I think that's pretty good for today. We'll see about later. Got to get some things in order. But I really